Hey guys, Angela here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be a sneaker review. I'm going to be talking all about the sneakers that I chose as my running sneaker this year. If you're new here, I typically replace my running shoes every year. When the spring summer season comes around, I do a lot of road running, so I run outside a lot, and so I typically find myself having to replace my running shoes every year just because they get a bunch of wear and tear on them. So this year I chose to go with the brand HOKA. This is actually my first pair of HOKAs. I've never had HOKAs before, and this is the Carbon X-SPE style of shoe. It was either between HOKAs or Asics. I also have never owned Asics to actually like work out or run in. I do have a pair of fashion sneaker Asics, but ultimately the HOKAs went out because I saw this pair and I just thought they were so stylish and so cute, and so like I was like, I'm getting those. But beyond just the way that they look, I did do a bunch of research, or at least I read a bunch of reviews before I actually picked these up and ultimately decided to go with it. I read quite a few reviews and most of them were about 4.5 out of 5 stars. So it got a really good rating on HOKA's site and just on some other random websites that I found. So, you know, it was a go for me. This particular style came in, I think, 3 different colorways. It came in like this purple and like neon green or yellowish color, which I did not like at all. And then it came in like an orange and blue, which was okay, but also not my style. And then this colorway here, which I already knew that this is the one that I wanted, but you know, just wanted to mention there was other colorways out there in case you were interested in them yourself. So a little bit more about the style of the shoe. So it's a mesh upper top area here, and then it's lined with something else. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I know what the lining is on the inside, but the top is definitely mesh. It does not have a tongue, which is unique. We'll talk about that a little later. It has sort of a double padded sole, which gives the shoe plenty of cushion and a little bit of height. And then it sort of has like leather trimming around it. So that's a sort of close up of the shoe. So as far as style is really why I chose the shoe, which is not how I ever choose my running shoes. I'm a really like functional and practical running shoe person. I don't know what got into me this year, but like I said, these are just fresh to me. I love the colorway, I love the way that they look, and I immediately gravitated toward them. I typically go for a running shoe that has a black sole and like a dark upper because, as I said, I do a lot of running on the road in the spring and summertime, and so there's dust. When it's raining, there's mud, and they're bound to get super dirty. And so yeah, I don't know what was going through my mind when I decided to get these, but I just was like super attracted to it in yellow. So I love the style of these, I love the colorway, and so yeah, style great. Was it the most practical choice for a running shoe style wise? I do not think so. So here's the thing about mesh sneakers. I typically try to stay away from them if they're like a light mesh because they tend to turn yellow. I don't care like if you're running in them, if you're just walking in them, if they're just sitting in your house. After a while, in my experience, that mesh just tends to turn yellow from like environmental things, dust, you know, whatever the case may be in the air. So I fully expect for these to be trashed before the end of running season, which is why I'm already thinking about picking up a second pair in a darker colorway. So I don't think it was the most practical decision style wise for running shoes, but as I said, they look good, girl. Okay, so let's talk about fit. So I actually sized up in this shoe. This is a unisex shoe, so it comes in a full range of both men and women's sizes. I sized up in this shoe. I am typically a size 10 in women, US women, and 8.5 in men. However, over the last couple of years, I've noticed that my feet expand when I run, so they swell a little bit. I don't know if it's because of age, I don't know, but my feet have been swelling. When I get over 2 miles or so, my feet get to expanding, and so I wanted to make sure that I gave them room to do that. So I purposefully sized up a half a size in these. All of the reviews said that they were true to size, but girl, again, I needed to see myself room for my feet to expand, so I went ahead and grabbed them a size up, which doesn't really make a difference. They aren't too big. The only thing is that the opening is like a little too wide for my ankle, and so I have to tie my shoes extremely tight to make sure that my ankles are snug in the opening part. I typically double knot my running shoes anyway, but I am like really pulling to make sure that my ankles aren't slipping out the top of these because it's just so wide. I don't know if it's because it doesn't have a tongue, which is why I said I would come back to that. And so it's sort of like that elasticated top, which I'm not usually a big fan of because I have small ankles, and so they are usually like too big, like they stretch out too much around my ankle. So I don't know. I don't know if that has a lot to do with it, but I would prefer a tongue, girl. I'm just gonna be quite honest. So yeah, other than that, I don't really have any issues with like the functionality of the shoe. As far as performance, as I said, I've only had about 7 runs or so in these, but so far so good. I don't have any complaints. The shoe is extremely comfortable. I love the thickness of the sole. It is the perfect amount of cushion. It gives you a really good push off when you're running, which I absolutely love about this shoe. I haven't had any like ankle pain, even though the opening is a little big and I have to tie it a little bit tight. I don't have any ankle pain or like knee pain. I did read on a few of the reviews where people were saying that they were like extremely sore after running in the shoes. I haven't experienced that at all. No foot pain, no ankle pain, no knee pain, no leg pain. So far I feel like the performance is great on them. Holla at me in like 2 months and I'll let you know if that's still the same, but so far so good on performance. And then as far as wear, I don't see a lot of wear just yet on them. Again, I've only had about 6 or 7 runs in them, but they look like they are holding up pretty well. I don't see any wear or tear, any significant wear or tear on them anyway. I did read in some reviews where people said that they didn't last very long for them, but again, not my experience, not yet anyway. So overall, I really like the shoe. My only complaints are cosmetic things. So I'm worried about the mesh turning yellow, the soles being super dirty and not coming clean, like little stuff like that, which were decisions on my part and are of no consequence to the shoe. There were other colorways that I could have gone with. And then also I wish this were a little more fitting to my ankle, and I don't know if I can attribute that to the design of the shoe or the fact that I sized up or whatever the case may be. Those are probably my 2 biggest complaints about the shoe. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good running shoe. I am going to grab a second pair. They don't actually have this style in a darker colorway with a darker sole, so I'm probably gonna pick up a second style in the HOKA shoe, but I am going to stick with HOKA this year for running shoes. But I'm going to look for something with like a black or a gray sole or something like that, just because I know that they're running shoes and the purpose of running is to get dirty, but I cannot have dirty shoes, not even dirty running shoes. So those are my thoughts on the HOKA Carbon X-SPE so far. So I say if you're looking for a good, stylish, functional, practical, oh, it's not practical, it's not practical, but it's stylish and it's very functional. I just the colorway, it's not a practical colorway for running shoes. I'm gonna be quite honest about that. However, I'm going to bump my rating up from a 4.4, which is sort of like the general consensus, to a 4.7, 4.8 out of 5, because so far so good for me. Like I said, other than it not being a practical colorway for a road runner, and this is a road running shoe, I like her a lot. So that is going to conclude today's sneaker review. When I do pick up a second pair of running shoes, I'll be sure to share it here on my channel, maybe do a review on those, maybe do a compare and contrast. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching. Make sure that you're following me over Instagram. I usually share the things that I'm buying and testing out and trying pretty much in the moment. So make sure you're following me there. My handle is @BAngela_BE, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye.